través de Futuro, la radio del rock, otra vez acá en las plataformas digitales para conversar y conectarnos con el mundo del rock and roll y con el mundo Lollapalooza que llega a Chile a partir de marzo. Y estamos con, como dijimos recién fuera de micrófono, con 3/4 partes de James Addiction, Perry Farrel, Eric Avery and Steve. Welcome to our space here in Radio Futuro, la radio del rock, official radio from Lollapalooza, and I'm so glad to see you guys.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah. Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, great. And what expect your expectative for you back in Chile finally? Because last year doesn't work that, and finally you came here and be part of the Lollapalooza, but also with another show, solo show.
Oh, what's happening with us right now is we've been in the studio writing new material, and we're really excited to come down to Chile at long last after all this craziness of last year. But we're coming with some little bit of new music, and of course the great songs of the past. But we're just happy to be alive, number one. Happy that, you know, the concerts are back, and the people are able to come out, you know, after being indoors for almost 3 years. So we're raring to go. We're very anxious to get down there and rock out, and we're gonna really go out on a limb, or it's a little bit dangerous, but we're gonna be performing new material that no one's ever heard before.
Wow.
For the Chilean public, yeah.
Oh, that's great. and how does it feel to be back? I know you guys are musicians, you're living in the stage or studios, but how does it feel to be back as a band recording new material after so long? It's a feel difference. What kind of experience that, Eric or Steve?
I think it, I will say, at least for me, it feels really different because it's just, I think we're all in a place in our lives where we all just really sort of appreciate each other as people, appreciate each other as creative voices. And it's just been there's just been a seamless rhythm that we've just all fallen into, where the music just keeps coming. It feels sort of effortless, you know, at this point. It's been such a surprise in the positive for me. It's been great.
You know, and I can agree to that, but I also feel a great challenge to myself. And you know, as a musician, I'm always listening to other musicians while I play and responding. And to have this group with Perry and Eric and our great Dave Navarro and friends that are joining, to be able to listen to what they're doing and respond, and the conversation of music has really risen to a point where I think it's the best playing I can possibly come up with is around these guys. We push each other to another level, and you get better when you play with better musicians.
Well, let's find some great musicians.
Well, that's also the next point, is like when I travel to South America as a musician, as a drummer, as a percussionist, there's so many new sounds and rhythms that I can put into our new music. So after our visit, don't be surprised if you hear some Carnival in my drum beats.
Okay. We're gonna take some Carnival here in Santiago with James Addictions. And Perry, the lyrics, what kind of thing are in your mind now to express to the world these days, after all we have through, you know, the pandemic years, the politicians situation, etc., and the world, the whole world, Ukraine, Russia, what kind of things are in the new lyrics?
Yeah, that's a good point. The world has changed so much since I would say we got together in the mid 80s, you know. When people think about James, they often say, you know, one of the great groups from the 90s, but we actually came on the cusp of the 90s. 88 was really when we started really rolling hard. And in those days, what we had Ronald Reagan, and then we had Bush, the Bush guys, and then of course the Clinton era, and then of
Bush again.
Not forget Obama, but man, then who was the other guy that followed Obama?
I don't want to bring him up.
Everybody.
No, I forget his name, but
everybody forget his name.
The world has, you know, I like to look at the world with a great sense of the sublime, and I like to see the paradox in life. And so even though most people would look at the world and say, wow, we're messed up, we're so messed up. That is true, but I see us as so very, very close to getting things perfect. Mm-hmm. We're refining. And as we refine the world and the human race, there are some things that we have to confront. It's our animal nature, our very own animal nature. The goal for mankind is to refine that and to become more and more human, become more and more divine. So my lyrics are still will remain forever hopeful. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, the song that we have been speaking of is a song called Imminent Redemption. And so I love to study mysticism, just to see, because mysticism it leads into prophecy, and prophecy goes back as far as mankind can remember. There were prophecies of what would happen, and I feel that we're living in these days when the prophets spoke about what was going to happen. We obviously are living through these times. I think we're standing on we're crossing the threshold that the world will be redeemed. The entire world will be redeemed, and we will find tranquility and peace in the next few years. It's something that I know the whole world is going to be working on, and I want to be a part of the planning of the party and the celebration and the music. And that's the music that we're making today.
Well, and I think the world is changing for everyone, for everybody here in Chile. Last year, the president was a man came from the businessman enterprises, and now the president is just a guy from university protest, from the street. He's just 37 years old. And wow. How do you look at that experience, the new experience, the new generation in the big decisions now, the role they are playing in the game?
You know, if I could just speak for another moment, it's wonderful, because it's the job of every young man and woman to turn the world over. They literally need to have that much energy and drive to turn the world over, because, you know, we've got some messed up old people. They're going to be gone in 5 or 10 years. Then the world is going to be left to us, the people that love the world, love each other. And there's so many smart people, and they're being organized through the internet. Really, you know, the internet has done some terrible things, you know, you could say, but really it's done some amazing things in the way of you and we're all talking now. That is just such an amazing thing. And with a tool like this, I think we can really get the job done. We can really bring the world to peace and clean it, you know, the air and the water, and celebrate life and thrive.
Well, yeah, the young people want to change it. I'm so happy. I had no idea there was someone in their 30s running your country.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a 13-year-old. He wants to know what's next. It's up to them. It's up to, they know things are melting, things are boiling, things have borders mean we don't need borders anymore. Let's join forces. But they're the ones that are going to hold on to that and break it. And your new president is like the beginning of all that. That's great news.
Chile is an incredible place, man. In the modern age, you know, in modern times, they've been through some very tough times, but they showed their constitution. They went into the streets, they would protest, and like, you know, Raniero was saying, this president was one of those people. He was out in the streets protesting for civil rights, civil liberties, and that's where we're going, Stevie. We're going down there to celebrate life with those people.
Great, it's a great news. I look, you got a lot of great stuff behind you. Maybe we're going to celebrate with something that, Perry.
Sure.
Let's talk about music too. We talk about the new album, the new recordings, and the shows in Santiago are going to be great. And I would like to know something about the history, you know, and you guys are from that kind of rock, the name alternative, you know. But what kind of music are you listening? When are you young people, teenagers, your heroes, guys? I want to know which one are your musical heroes, your favorite albums for all time. I mean, I grew up with that album until today, until now, I'm still listening to that record.
Which one?
Which record?
Oh, you were asking us.
Yeah, I'm asking to you guys. Favorite?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because this sort of came up in a conversation yesterday in the studio, and it was, you know, I was remembering that when Perry and I first met and we were talking about making music and making a band together, that we were both saying that we loved Joy Division and we loved Velvet Underground.
Yeah.
But that we didn't want to sound like them. You know, we didn't want to just like make a band that sounded like Joy Division or sounded like Velvet Underground. We wanted to make something that captured the spirit of those bands that we loved, but make something new, you know, and I think we did. And, you know, I don't think anyone listens to Jane's Addiction and immediately goes, oh, Velvet Underground, or, you know, oh, Joy Division, you know.
But that wouldn't be the worst, but no, they don't.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think that the funny thing is that those records in particular still stand up for me. Like there are some things that have certainly, you know, a lot of punk rock. I appreciated at the time. I don't listen to a lot of that these days. But if I put on Sunday Morning by Velvet Underground, sometimes that's just a feeling I just want to have, you know, inhabit my house. And it just does immediately, like it did 30 years ago for me or 40 years ago, you know. And yeah, so those are the enduring voices for me, those that come to mind anyway.
You know, I was going to say, for me, the music comes and goes. You know, some of the influences for the songs and bands I listened to was because I was a drummer and I wanted to find out what the drummer was doing. And sometimes the drummer was the hook.
For you.
They wouldn't listen to music with fireworks because he wasn't looking for musicians to show off. But I was a musician and I wanted to find other drummers that showed off. Mitch Mitchell from Hendrix, of course, we all love him, but I loved him for maybe a different reason. And I was searching for something. So my brother listened to music that didn't have all these big fireworks, like Van Morrison.
Wow.
A beautiful, beautiful record, Astral Weeks. But I never was hooked as a drummer to listen to that. But that kind of music and the memory of me and my brother sharing it, that still lasts, you know. But
Tell what else your brother loved though.
What's that?
What else did your brother turn you on to though? That was
I can think of another band.
Well, the funny thing is, the Grateful Dead experience that my brother was a deadhead, but it really turned over when Jane's Addiction started doing gigs with Bill Graham, and we had a window into the Dead world. And then he realized that it was possible for us to do what the Dead did. And I saw my brother sit on my bed, watch me drum, watching Mickey Hart and Billy Kreutzmann drum. It was, I got to the level with my brother where the Dead and Jane's Addiction and Porno for Pyros, where it seemed like the music now was somehow leveled, the playing field was leveled in my brother's eyes, and we became what he loved. And my brother sang on the song Pets by Porno. He died a few weeks later after it came out. So there's just this imprint of my brother and our music and his voice and his influence. But David Navarro influence that you're talking about, more than any record, more than John Bonham, more than Keith Moon, when I hang out with these guys, that reminds me of why I drum and what the point is. And that I'm so grateful Eric's back, because I love the guy, but it's also blown the dust off any cloud that may have been in my musical growth. And now my growth is like, there's something happening right now. We're growing. I'm growing. Yeah. I'm 55. I want rock and roll music. There's a purpose, and we're intelligent people that play music that has guts. And most of the music that has guts sometimes gets dumbed down, but this music still feels, it's not just from the waist down, it's from the neck up now. We have a lot of thought going into what we do. So I'm just really happy that we've got a new band together.
Yeah.
Beautiful, Steve.
The mouse is moving down. We're going to finish maybe. I don't know. Perry, would you like to finish that question, Perry? Your favorite band?
Oh, I love, yesterday I was listening to, I'm going to grab the record. Hold on one second. Run right back.
Great.
We'll see him tomorrow. No, you've lost him. No, I'm kidding.
Estamos con la gente de Addictions en vivo. Ahí está.
No, so my son bought this. It's Lou Reed.
Yeah.
When in the old days, before we'll call the old days before home computers. When a songwriter would write a song, to ensure that the song was truly his or hers, they would mail the song to themselves.
Yeah.
That would postmark and stamp the date and that they received their song from themselves. And that would be in the court of law, that would hold up in a court of laws. Yeah, you wrote it then, May 1965. So anyway, this is my son's record, but I just started listening to it yesterday morning, and it's the original of I'm Waiting for My Man and Heroin. And the funniest thing is it was written in 1965.
Yeah.
Lou Reed wrote Heroin in 1965 when the Beatles wrote I Want to Hold Your Hand. That shows you how, I don't want to say ahead or outside or alternative, but as Eric was telling you about the Velvets, I was just thinking about how wonderful Lou Reed, how wonderful it's been to listen to Lou Reed in my life. Of course, I love listening to great songwriters and singers, the way that, Stephen and Eric listen to their specific instruments. I kind of dial in, you give me anything by Jim Morrison, give me anything by, Bob Dylan. Give me anything by Johnny Cash. You know, especially John Lennon was a very big influence in my life. And you know, there you go. Is that good?
We're gonna continue this conversation here in Santiago, Chile, guys.
All right.
You're invited
Sounds
to
good.
Radio Futuro. Thank you very much, guys, for your time, for your hospitality, and really, we will see you here. We're gonna spend great time in Santiago. Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you in a few weeks.
Y nosotros nos reencontramos en otra transmisión, en otra entrega con las plataformas, conversando esta vez con James Addiction y quizás con quien más en las próximas instancias. Muchas gracias, que estén bien, sigan en la compañía de Futuro, la radio del rock. Bye.